I was born at St. Peter's Hospital in Olympia in the early 1970s. We lived in 4 houses by the time I was 4 years old, mostly because my parents were hippies who had temporarily quit their jobs to live off the land, and who moved from place to place when they could afford. At that time, my parents were getting into gardening and making everything from scratch, so most of my clothes throughout grade school were handmade, and we ate a lot of vegetables from the garden. I wasn't allowed to eat sugar at all when I was little, and instead had to deal with carob and molasses. My younger brother came along when I was 2, and then when I was 6, our parents got a divorce, and our lives were literally divided in 2. Our mom stayed in town in a tiny house with a huge backyard that she used as a daycare center by day, and our dad moved out to a beach cabin on Johnson Point on 14 acres of waterfront property that his great-grandfather had bought in the 1930s. My brother and I spent Monday through Friday with my mom and every Saturday and Sunday with my dad. I went to McKinley Elementary School, which used to be where Orla is now, and then to Washington Middle School and Olympia High School. I was one of the kids who went to the same school district, grades K through 12, and every time my parents talked about moving, I threw a fit. I think it's because school was one of the constants in my life. To this day, I still have friends from as early as 3rd grade. Weeks at my mom's house were all about schoolwork and structure. She didn't go to college. In fact, the only women in my family who had ever been to college were one aunt on each side of my family, and they were both nurses. My mom wanted me to be able to go to college, so she and my stepfather, who moved in shortly after the divorce, worked hard to provide a stable, loving home for us. When I was in 3rd grade, I declared that I wanted to be a teacher someday because I loved my 3rd grade teacher so much. Over the years, I went through short phases where I thought about being something else, but it always came back to teaching. My dad's house was kind of the opposite of my mom's. His house was all about freedom, exploring the beach and land, getting to know the Puget Sound, and developing an intense love of games. My dad dated, but he didn't find my stepmom until I was 11. So every weekend he would play with my brother and me all day and night. Football, basketball, wiffle ball, kick the can, cribbage, cards, board games, you name it. He also, quite contrarily to my mom's house, let us eat anything we wanted. He took us to Safeway every Saturday morning, and we filled the cart with sugary cereals, chips, pop, and Kudos. Those are granola bars. Every Sunday evening at 6:00 p.m., my dad took us to visit my great-grandmother, Gigi, before dropping us off at our mom's house. Our Gigi made butter toffee cookies and served them with ice cream. We sat on her old-fashioned furniture and talked. To this day, she is still one of the dearest people in my life, though she died when I was 18.